Howdy folks, and welcome to Friday's Start Building Me, my nightly training session to get you into the habit of exercise. If you do not exercise, or you want to get back into exercise, or you've currently injured yourself and you're just starting to get back to it, that's what I'm here for, folks. Nightly training session, usually anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes, depending on how many people come, how many people show any interest, and how tired I am basically, folks, because just like everybody else in this world, it is Friday, whether it's morning in Europe and you're about to go to work or school, and it's the end of our day here in the east coast of Australia, on the east coast of Australia. Whatever you want to call it, it is irrelevant to me. Anyway, folks, what we're trying to do is get your blood pumping through your body. This is essential. It is mandatory. As I always say every night here, you have to exercise, folks, in some shape or form. It could be in this form, which I am just poorly doing now, where you could just be walking. You could be walking to and from school, to the office, whatever it is that you need to do. That is a part of the commute. You can get it done that way. What I try to do with you is two basic compound movements, one being a squat, one being a push-up. Both are very efficient, and there are different methods depending on your current level of strength and fitness. So that's something that I'm here to help you with. As always, folks, like and subscribe. Check me out on all of my different social media. Send me messages if you have any questions. I am going to walk and talk. So, folks, this is what it looks like to anybody without explaining it. This is Start Building Me, not Keep Building Me. Forget the form sticklers. Do this in your room, in the privacy of your own home. Doesn't matter where you do it. I'm just trying to explain to you the basics, folks. You're sitting down on a chair, you're standing back up. This is something that if you can comprehend, i.e. if you can understand what I am saying right now, there is 100% guarantee that you can sit down and stand back up. If it's on a chair, corner of a bed, on a box, whatever it is that you're doing, folks, this is some movement that you can do. This is what it looks like from the side. If you stand and squat with your legs wide apart, who cares if you do it with your feet narrow, whatever it is at this stage, as I'm saying. We are working on people who are unconsciously incompetent, meaning you have no idea what I'm talking about, which is why I do this channel, to show people that really something that I used to think was obvious and that you should really know everything about exercise and diet and fitness. That is not the reality, folks, and most people do not. And there's nothing to be ashamed about for that, and that's why I do this, to just show you that as simple as sitting down and standing back up on a chair is something that you can do, which will be a guarantee to improve your life. Sounds like a good deal to me. I'm not sure about you, but really, folks, if I can do something like this during the day and reduce the chance that I'm going to get cancer, reduce the chances that I'm going to get dementia, improve the quality of my sleep, improve my happiness and my well-being, improve the chances that I'm not going to injure myself by keeping elasticity in my muscles. Folks, there's millions of reasons why you should exercise. I'm not going to stand here and waste your time rattling them off. I am just going to do them in front of you and show you what I am doing, explaining it on the fly, because I am doing it as much for me, quite selfishly, as my ulterior motive, as it is to explain it to you. Whether you're live here or on repeat, it doesn't matter. I am doing this just as much for me, folks, as a method of explaining this and trying to explain and be more efficient over time as to why this is so stupidly important, folks. You cannot live a healthy and happy and full potential life without exercise. You can try, but you'll fail. That is proof, folks. There are many things in life that you can guarantee, but this is one of them. So let's try and get the blood pumping. I need to do some active recovery after a day of work and get the blood pumping. Kick your legs out, shake everything about. That also aids blood flow, folks. There's different like versions of Tai Chi where a lot of it is really just shaking yourself out, literally, just by doing that, folks. it gets your blood pumping through your blood vessels. So even if you don't have what it takes to squat yet, you can literally just do this. Hopefully you're in the privacy of your own home or your bedroom so people don't give you SHIT. Hope the algorithm doesn't beat me for that. Please don't beat me, algorithm, for spelling out excrement. Something that everyone does, every animal. Shouldn't really be a swear, but I've been reading all the disclaimers recently that the algorithm comes down on you hard like some evil old school caveman if you speak ill of the program. So I can't swear. So from the side, from here, sit down, stand up. That's the essence of it, folks. That's really all I'm trying to do, is get you into the habit of doing something like this every day. It seems trivial. Most people don't do it. Most people have health problems. Most health problems go chronic. And when you get a chronic problem, folks, the quality of your life goes down big time. And how do I know this? Because I'm a healthcare data analyst and have seen this in every single hospital across the world that I've worked in, is people get chronic illnesses that exacerbate, meaning they get worse if you do not stretch, if you do not keep yourself limber, if you do not do exercise. At some stage, it will affect your life. So I'm trying to get you to start building me before it gets too late, because trust me, it's just one of those things I've experienced working in healthcare, that if you do not do exercise, it will come back to roost. Like the proverbial chickens, folks, they come back to roost. And why? Why do they come back to roost? Who cares? Anyway, you've got to exercise. As simple as that. I'm not trying to get all philosophical on you, folks. I'm just trying to get you to pump blood through your body. You don't have to do as many as me. You can do 1, 2, take it easy. Get the blood pumping through your body. It's all I'm trying to explain to you. And oh, that's right, I don't have my watch. It ran out during work today. So my blood is pumping through my body, and this is the whole point, is exercise makes your heart work harder, pumps that blood through your blood vessels, out through your arteries, up into your brain to make your brain work properly, back through the veins, reoxygenates in your lungs to get pumped out again. And this is something that you've just got to do, folks. Most people do not take this stuff serious enough, and that's why I'm here, is to sell the good word for free to anybody who wants to hear it, because it is something that has changed my life, and I know it will change your life too. If you're having problems with anxiety, depression, if you're overweight, the joke is that people that don't use their joints enough are the people who end up in the orthopedic surgeon's table, folks. It's not people, or rarely is people, who use their joints a lot, because their joints end up working, with the exception of some of the rugby players out there who abuse their joints. But the other half of the people who are on the operating table are the people who don't use their body enough, folks. So you don't want to be one of those people, because after that point, you're going to have a hell of a lot of problems. So if this is all you have to do to mitigate that, folks, you'd be kind of silly, dare I say, not to do it. I would say lazy, to be honest. If you can try and find excuses why you can't walk a little bit every day, do a few squats, do a few push-ups, some dumbbell work, whatever it is, there's so many different things you can do to stay fit. Riding bicycles is one of my favorite in particular. Folks, not only are you not living your life to your fullest, but you're not going to be living your life for very long. And that's just the whole cold hard facts, folks, the things that people do not want to talk about, because it's hard. People get revered if they've got muscles, if they're lean, because you can't cheat it, you can't steal it, you can't buy it off somebody else. You've got to do it, folks. You've actually just got to do it. Why is Nike's slogan the best in human history? Because it is just do it, folks. Just do it. Get the blood pumping through your body, and then Friday go party, do whatever it is that you're going to do in this very easy, very relaxed form of exercise that I'm trying to explain to you here. over Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And then I'm going to go and have my weekend too. So that's 10 minutes on the clock. I've pumped the blood around my body. I'm feeling warmed up. I'm feeling quite good. I haven't eaten anything yet. Looking forward to my dinner. I'm going to do a few push-ups now. So without further ado, I'm going to switch down to the patented crotch cam, quite crudely patented that way. Let's just call it the floor cam from now on. And here I am on the floor. Started like this, kneeling down, give your quads a bit of a stretch by leaning back. Had a big day like me, it's always good to stretch your quads a little bit. Folks, a lot of people get problems with their joints because they have a lot of tension and misuse and poor coordination of muscles in different parts of their body. So it means, for instance, a lot of people have very tight hamstrings, and as a result, they use their hamstrings more than their glutes because they have an imbalance in their posterior chain. Now, I won't get into that now because times are ticking, but you really want to try and just loosely stretch every muscle a little bit. It will balance it out because for every one side of a muscle that contracts, there's another side that extends, and vice versa, right? There's always that yin and yang. Guess what, folks? Binary does exist, and it exists in the human body. I'm not going to get any deeper into that other than the fact that due to the fact of how our muscular system works, when there's one muscle that contracts, the other one's extending, and that's how they work. So you basically want to keep them both limber. Anyway, if you can't do a push-up, you can do them off your hands and knees like this in some shape or form. Watch my YouTube videos if you want more of an understanding than that. But you're pushing yourself up off the ground, whether you like it or not, whatever the form sticklers say. You don't have to do any strict push-ups. Do a few like that, or if you've got it in you, you can always do strict push-up. The best form of compound movement that you can do during the day. You can avoid bench press if you're doing enough push-ups. I don't even do that many. I just do what I do here on Start Building Me, and that is normally fine for me. I don't want an enormous chest. Bodybuilding is all about specifying different muscles that you want to train to sculpt your body into an aesthetically pleasing form. Now, there are many variants of that. In modern bodybuilding, there's the open division, which is the division that turns men into looking like bulls or livestock, where they're just ridiculously vascular muscles that just make no sense anymore due to exogenous hormone usage. Then you've got the classic division that is more modeled off looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, 70s, 80s bodybuilding, without being too heavy using exogenous, i.e. external hormones, also known as anabolic steroids, folks, androgenic substances. Then there is the physique division, where it's not a focus overly on your legs and a more lean muscle mass. Nonetheless, you're also using an exorbitant amount of exogenous hormones, aka steroids. And then there's the natural division, the least impressive and the least watched division, and my favorite division, because it's all about seeing who can get the most massive just by eating and pumping iron, folks. And guess what? You can get absolutely enormous if you do natural bodybuilding. Obviously, you're not going to get all the contracts, you're not going to make all the money, but in the end, how big do you want to be, folks? I see the biggest guys in the gym, biggest roid heads you'll see in human history, and you could slap them on the back of their inevitably bald head because testosterone makes your hair fall out, and you could run down the road and they would not be catching you in a million years, because if they tried to run after you, they would have a heart attack and die. So, really, is there a lot of purpose having that much muscle mass? I don't think so personally, but I'm biased because I grew up doing combat sports like boxing and wrestling. Any excess mass puts you up in a different division where you're amongst people who are naturally that weight, and people who can naturally coordinate that weight are people who you should fear. If you've got one, like, think of in Australia, we've got big Islander guys, right? Big Maori, big Islander guys, big indigenous mob guys. Those guys are just, have been heavy their whole life, so they can coordinate that and do a lot of damage. Now, I started my boxing career at 73 kilos. I'm 90 kilos now. I cannot coordinate that extra 20 kilos or 17 kilos. I would make a complete fool out of myself, even more so than talking excrement here on Start Building Me Live. But I just thought it's also interesting to tell people from time to time the realities and the truth behind exercise science, what people are doing. And folks, professional sports equals steroids. There will be people who will be furious that I say this, but in my observation of working in performance enhancing drug testing systems, developing software, all athletes are on it. They might not be on it all the time, but they are on it at various stages. And the shock horror that people, the revelation that Lance Armstrong was doing steroids to me was, oh my God, just, slap my cheek stupidity. I can't believe people thought for a second that that dude wasn't doing drugs. It just shows you how ignorant they are. No worries that you are late tend to be the Beebinator. The Beebinator needs a lot of effort. My hat off to you, Sally Starjump, and thanks for coming anyway. We're just going to be doing a few more push-ups. In your case, a few different rows, a few different shoulder presses. I was very impressed to seeing you working the 12.5. That is my working rate weight at the moment due to the damage that I have done to my tendons, which were fine on my maiden day of work today, and so I can't really complain. I've just got to look after it. And maybe, just speaking of hypertrophy and ridiculous bodybuilding, I need to wake up to the fact that I'm not going to do that, and let myself rest up a bit, use the good old naproxen so I can start hitting the bag again very lightly. Kettlebell raises, yeah, nice one. I dig it. I'm going to get back into more kettlebell, into some coordination stuff, because it just makes me feel better to be coordinated, rather than having a bunch of muscle mass that impresses dudes at the gym. Now, being a single man again, I'm not trying to appeal to men. I'm trying to appeal to women. And you speak to most women and they think guys that are really, really beefy, really, really massively muscled, are not that attractive. And the ones that do are the ones that you should avoid at all costs, folks. The Himbo and Bimbo Massive. Shout out to the Himbo and Bimbo Massive. Enjoy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Looking forward to my first meal tonight, folks, which is going to be salmon. Oh yes, I forgot to change the bot messages to try and lead people towards my Start Building Me channel, which is growing now very nicely at a very decent pace. And I figured out I've got to make more short form videos, more clickbaity stuff, but hey, that's just the way it goes. I think at least my clickbaity stuff is going to try and lure people to free exercise. Doesn't really seem so sinister to me, folks, but it's still kind of annoying that that's how the system works. But speaking to a whole bunch of people that have kids today, talking to them and their systems, how to restrict people from social media, I think everybody's onto it basically, and there will be ways to curb it, and let's just hope that it's nothing to do with the government, because as soon as the government starts to try and curb stuff, they always do it in quite a poor way. Anyway, I hope you guys are going to have a good weekend. I am not really sure. I think Sanity and I are going to be watching Kamaru Usman's return to the octagon. Hopefully he wins. He's a very good guy. But speaking of injuries, Sally Starjumps, this guy who was like the undisputed welterweight champion for so long, lost to a head kick in the end of a 5th round. And this is a guy that has to swim because he can barely walk downstairs and he's a UFC fighter. It shows you how hardcore some of these combat sports people are. Sandy is in the house. She's ready for blood, as me. How can we not be ready to see, hopefully, redemption of Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian nightmare? So cool when a guy from that humble background, poor as, can be such a domineering world welterweight champion. Was one of the best, apart from, of course, George St. Pierre, who reigned for so long and had so many title defenses, but was pretty boring. And Kamaru Usman usually comes out and kicks their cracker teeth in. Crackerjack chips, of course, I'm talking about. If the algorithm's trying to be dirty on me for that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, folks, in my experience, 10, 20s, 30s tops don't really bother having to go all out there and do more than that. Just do more sets than multiple reps, because I am always a person to train you in the practical sense. Is when you ever going to do 60 push-ups in a row? Like, what is the practical application of that? So really, what's even the practical application of doing more than 10? That's why I try and do 10, 20, and do multiple sets and then take it easy. And then get out of here. So yeah, it's gonna be sauerkraut, salmon, lime juice, bit of apple cider vinegar. Got it all dialed in. Oh yeah, and thanks for the car seat, Sanity. I've pulled it out. I'll give it back to you this Sunday. Did I bogart anything else off you? Usually, yes. Whole bunch of things I've bogarted off you, basically. Half my house has got your stuff in here. It's quite funny. if it's in my place, I keeps it. I'm like the troll. Just joking. I'm gonna bust that. I'm gonna bust that 20 more and then get out of here. I mean, it'd be pretty easy for you to come and just steal it back anyway. Clunk me over the head like we've discussed quite rudely, but in both your presence, that the emasculation of who is named Dave not being the alpha in his own house even. Don't believe the lies here on Start Building Me. I'm all man. I'm all alpha. My dogs don't walk over me. Sanity doesn't walk all over me. Sale Star Jump doesn't walk all over me. I'm as alpha as it gets, bros. You know, don't believe the hype. You laugh, Sal Star Jump. There was more chips and burger around the seat than probably in the Beebinator's stomach. But she had a good time. It was good corrupting her into into the Hungry Jack's drive-thru and the Macca's drive-thru for the first time in her life. I have that corrupting influence. Hopefully it's just fries and exercise these days, eh? Oh, anyway, I'm going to do another 10. Spread your fingers, tense your butt, look up and breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I was stoked. I got to ride the pony, folks. I'm basically a cowboy now. Watch out. Next thing, Yellowstone season 6 or whatever they're up to. It's all going to be about the most hardcore cowboy on the southern side of the equator. Dave Building Me. That's being alphaed, that sure is. But if I was to joke on Start Building Me about something that I would never do, and that's the fact that I've alphaed those two, plenty. You see what happens when they actually they don't give a living crap about any of my actions. Pro Facebook trainer. Uh, 10 more. Anything else that I have to announce? She's a great kid. Apart from when she fish hooked my... Ow, my freaking ears! Had a good fish hook of my eyeball and gave me mad floaters for 24 hours. And I was like, calm blue ocean, calm blue ocean. I still love her. I was like, yeah, you know, channeling aggression into people, I get it. But actually that's not why I'm even in trouble. I'm a brother of peace, folks. On the web, I'm basically a hippie. Some sort of militant hippie who grew up punching people. Yeah, I gotta change the bot. Oh no, the grip strength, that still holds true. Yeah, that's it. From the stories that I heard from Sally Star Jump, I think I got off easy. She was let's call it skull screwing me, looking at me like, oh, I'm sorry, like, you like that? You like that, big man, hey? You want another one? I was like, no, please, Phoebe. Stop before it's manslaughter. Ah, interesting. You just like the hounds. Yeah, you've got the demon collection, there's no doubt about it. I saw, actually, I'll leave it on this one before doing 10 more push-ups. S-Sanity, I saw a litter, they would have been older, they would have been about a year old, of Stafford's Cross Border Collies at one of these Kelso places where we were working on a pool. And they were the coolest looking dogs I've ever seen. They kind of just look like big Staffords with the white stripe, short hair still, but with the white stripe down and the sort of yowling attitude of the Border Collie. But they just look like yoked Border Collies with short hair. They were awesome. He's like, you want them? You want all of them? I'm like, nah, it's okay. He's like, they're station dogs. They're not really suited for here, but they loved me. It's the best part of the job is hanging out with all the hounds. Then I saw another one who was a Ridgeback Ridgeback Staffy called Diesel, and he was cool as well. Helped me clean the pool. Anyway, folks, have a good evening. I'll be back on Monday doing more content during the week, and though watching the UFC, of course. Tense your butt. Breathe, spread your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As always, folks, love you. Switch off the news, switch off the media, forget that stuff. The world isn't ending. Everybody thinks the world's going to end during their lifetime, and guess what? Never does. Take it easy. Love ya. See ya, and see you Monday.